So what is having? So having filtered the groups formed in the group by based on provided criteria, that means determines which groups will be displayed in the result. If you remember, I explained it before. So you can think of it similar, think of having similar to where. So we said in the where we include our conditions, right? For example, where salary is greater than something, where age is, for example, greater than something, and so on. So having is the same. The only difference is that it's used after aggregation. So you use where before aggregation, and then having to filter the rows after aggregation. What does that mean? So just these 2 points, please refer to this. Having conditions only apply to grounded data. That is, having always must follow group by. So if you have having, it always followed by the group by. Okay? And it's always followed by a built-in aggregate functions. So let's say we want to find average salary for each department with more than 2 employees. So someone tell me how to write a query to find out average salary for each department. Just that. And let's actually go here. I think it's time to yes. How many of you are connected to your databases? Only 3, 4, 5. How many of you are trying to? Okay, good. I highly recommend you to do that because, I know how busy you are with different courses. So if you just postpone it to like when you're at home, you may never do it. Just do it now. If you have any problem, then you can ask me. It takes forever to load it. Yeah. So you already know how to create tables and insert data into that. And now these are the tables that we have. So I'm going to just getting all the data that we have in these 2 tables. Okay, now I remember why I dragged it. So this is our staff table, and then this is the organization. So these are the 2 tables that we have. Okay. And let me see if I'm actually recording this. Screen capture preview, that's fine. Okay. So what was the question? So the question is finding out average salary for each department with more than 2 employees, right? So now, for this question, we have to use having, and the reason is because, as I said, having is just to filter the data similar to what where does, right? For example, when you write finding, for example, select employees from staff where salary greater than 100K, it filters the rows of your staff table based on only those employees whose salary is greater than 100K, right? Not all the employees, but only those that meet that condition. Now, the same is here. If you pay attention to the question, is a condition after you're aggregating the result, because it asks you finding the average salary for each department. Where does the aggregation happens? With the group by, right? So if my question is only see this, find out average salary for each department, what do you write? let's find the average salary for each department. So I look at my tables, I only have 2 tables in my database, and I want to find average salary for each department. So do I have all that information that is the department and their salaries in one table? Yes, that's the staff table. So if you want to write that query, you just write select, right? And then go to your from part, right? From. Now, from the staff table, right? Select what? We want to find the average salary for each department. Forget about the condition with more than 2 employees for now. We only want to find the average salary for each employee. So, in this case, I have select. What should I use? I want to find average salary for each employee. Help me. Can I write select average salary from staff? I really like how confident you say yes. So let's write that. Select average salary, okay, from staff. Let's see if it gives me average salary for each department. So if I run these. So these 2 tables, these are the result of the first 2 queries. I just want to see what the 2 tables are, right? Now this is the result of this query. Select average salary from staff just gives me average salary in the staff table. But we want average salary for each department, okay? So now I write this question. Average salary. Now this is average salary in each department. Now, if I want to find average salary for each department, what should I do? Let me get back the camera. I just forgot that I put the camera there. And so this will be really funny when you see the video, if you see the recording, because it's capturing there and I'm talking here for the past 30 minutes. So caption, okay, now this is good. Okay, so average salary for each department, select average salary, right? From which table? Staff, right? Staff. Now, what should I use here?
Group by.
Group by. Who said that? Thank you so much. Now, staff, group by. Group by what?
Department number.
Department number. Right? Now, if I write select average salary from a staff group by department number, it gives me average salary for each department. That means we have, for example, several D20 here, as you see, right? It doesn't just like list all the salaries, but gives me the average salary for each department. So, now let's run this, right? So this is what you'll get, average salary for each department. But this is a like really ugly table because you don't see like department names. This column doesn't have a name. So help me like write it better. How can I get a like more like prettier result? As, yes. So average salary as average salary, for example. And what if I want to, like, because we want to find this for each department, so it's good idea to also include the department number here, right? So department number and average salary. So department number and average salary from staff. So now if you write this, and let me turn off this. Not this. This, no. This one. Okay, now better. Okay, so when I write select department number, average salary as average salary, blah, 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 now I'll get like a better, more clear table, right? You see the name that we gave here, And then we have also department number. Now we can see the average salary for each department. Yes?
Please zoom in.
Yeah, sure. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. And here. So now look at our tables now. So these are the tables that we have in the staff table. So I want to get finding average salary for each department. So far we found that, but with more than 2 employees. So now, for example, some departments, as you see here, for example, B20, Sanders working there, Pernald working there, O'Brien working there, and James working there. So there are 4 employees working in this department, right? Some departments, like for example B15, have only 1 employee. Now the question asks, finding average salary for each department that has more than 2 employees, right? So what does your result should look like? Should the result contain the department D15? No, because D15 has only 1 employee. So in the result, now I would expect not to see D15 or any department with less than 2 employees, right? So how can I do that? I said we can do it with having, yes? So I'm just writing average salary for each department with more than 2 employees. So you see, you always break your queries into smaller, simpler queries in order to be able to answer that. So if you see like a query like this, don't panic. You just break it down into smaller steps. Like for example, if you don't know how to answer this query, just finding what is the average salary for each department. Even if you don't know how to find the average salary for each department, then just find average salary first, right? And then you get the result, you run your query as I did with your friend, and then say, okay, so this just gives me the average salary. Now, what if I want it for each department? Then I have to group by, use group by to aggregate the result, right? And then we use the group by to find the average salary for each department. Now, we want to add, like, we want to have the same query, right? Because this so far will give me the average salary in each department. And I want to add another condition. So you may think that you have to write where, right? Because this is where we write our conditions. For example, where number of employees or count of. Can I write count star here? Yes, because it's from the staff table. Count star, just find the number of or count of employees, right? Where count star greater than 2. Now, this is obviously not correct. What is the problem with this query?
I don't think the where statement can be used with group by.
Yes, so you cannot use where after group by, because as I mentioned, both where and having are filtering your data, but where they use that filtering is very different. When you use where, it filters data in your table before aggregation. So you can use where before group by, okay? But the condition of, like, whatever condition that comes on the result of the group by, because we want to find average salary for each department with more than 2 employees, right? So you first want to like group by your data and then having the condition of more than 2 employees. So in that case, the filtering happens after aggregation. So you have to use having, right? So now if you just write having here, we should be fine. Having count star greater than 2. And then if I run this, right? You can find department number, average salary, and sorry, this one. Only D20. It only gives me D20. Why? Because this is the only department with more than 2 employees. Now, if I do it like this, that is for each department. No, please. Yeah, you can ask me a question until I fix it.
Is that greater or less than? Is that inclusive or exclusive? Or in SQL we don't specify.
No, if you
Like,
mean
is it
if
like
you greater than
equal
2,
to?
it's just greater than 2, not 2, not including 2.
But can we do that?
Yeah,
If we need that?
greater than
Oh, okay.
equal. If you go to the slide with the operators, we can use greater equal.
So would the where command work if it was before group by?
It's before the aggregation. We have more examples. Yeah. So now for this query, with let's say we want to find average salary for each department with less than 2 employees. What do you expect? Hello. What do you expect here? Yeah. Actually, one of you guys can tell me. So this is very easy because we already covered average salary for each department with greater than 2 employees, which was D20, because that was the only department with more than 2 employees. Now, what about less than 2 employees? Which department would you expect to see? Departments with less than 2 employees. Yes? So anything other than D20, D15, D42, D38, right? So if you write this and then run this, then you'll see this one, right? D15 and D42. And the others have only 2 employees, so it doesn't include here. So D38 should have only 2 employees, I guess. That's why you don't see it here. So this is for having. Another interesting query is this one. Okay, this one, sorry. Finding departments with average salary higher than company's average. Finding departments with average salary higher than company's average. It's similar to one of the queries we had before, right? So previously we had this query, finding employees whose salary is above company's average salary, right? And we saw how to do that. Now we want to find departments, not employees, department with average salary higher than company's average. So the only difference here is that in the previous query we were searching for the employees, now we're searching for the departments that their average salary is higher. So you can guess we still need to use the nested query, right? Because we first want to find company's average salary. How to, yes?
What if we want to add department name to the query? Will we have to use max for that? Since we're using
for the query bar,
yeah.
finding average salary for each department more than 2 employees. You also want to include department name. You cannot, because you are using group by, right? And whenever you use group by, your select part is only limited to whatever you have in the group by or the aggregated functions.
What I'm saying, like, can we put max on department name to actually select it?
So what will max of department name give you?
Well, considering that each department number is actually, since it's a primary key, it only has one department name, it would just give me the actual department.
You wanna okay, so if that is the case in a table, yes, but in general, like if you have, for example, several department names, so actually we are in the staff table, so our department names are not unique, right? So we are selecting from the staff table. In the staff table, department is not unique. So if you write max department name, the max still works, like alphabetically, but it doesn't give you all the department names.
But for each number, it should give the only name it has, because one department number can't have multiple names.
It gives you an error. I'll show you. If you write department name, because when you're using group by, you are grouping by the department numbers. Not if you can have like group by department name. If you want, you can do. If you want to see department name, so why do you group by department number? Just group by department name. And but you can try. Just whatever comes to your mind, try and see if you can get. So in this case, I can understand. You mean because we are grouping by department number, so it will give you distinct departments. So each department has only one department name. So logically, shouldn't be any problem. But I'm not sure if it allows you. Just we can try.
It will, at least from what I've tried, it will throw an error. But if you use like a function like maximum or minimum on it, it should display correctly, right?
Yeah, for sure. If you use aggregate functions, it shows you the result. Yeah. We lost the monitor again. This is very stupid. I'm saying something. Sorry, I need to fix this monitor first. I really don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, yes. This is very limited things here. Okay, so now finding departments with average salary higher than company's average. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. Okay, I'm working in the dark really here. Maybe I can better see there. Look at there. So now finding departments, right? With average salary higher than company's average salary. So as I mentioned before, for like these kind of queries, you can break it down into simpler ones, right? So for instance, you can just think about what is the company's average salary first, right? Now, how do you find company's average salary? Let's say just want to find company's average salary. How can I do that? Yeah?
Select department number. Average salary.
Okay, select. Sorry, I lost my monitor, so I have to write here. Select department number. Okay, from staff. Yeah, we want to find average salary.
So what do you mean by average?
Average salary of the company. So what does this give me? Department. So how can I get the average salary then? Yeah?
Use average salary in the selects.
Yeah, so let's have average salary here. Average salary. So if you just write select average salary, right? If you want to like group by, that's different thing. Then you can like group by department number and average together. But now we can just have select average salary from the staff because we just want to have average salary from the So from the staff table, we want to find average salary because salary is in the staff table. So if I run this, it gives me. Okay. So this is your staff table, this is organization table, and these are the result of other queries. So this one. This is the average salary, right? So this is the company's average salary. So now you want to only see the departments whose salary is greater than this. So now how can I do that? Think about what we did when we wanted to find the employees whose salary were greater than the company's average. Okay. I want to see, so what I want to see in my result is some departments, right, and their average salary. But I only want to see those departments, right, that their average is greater than the company's average. So if I want to find, for example, if you just write select department number and average salary from staff, and then you group by department number, right? If I write this will give me the average salary for each department, right? Not only the departments that their salary is greater than the average. So I have this, and I have this. Now can you help me with answering this query? So we know how to find the average salary for each department. We also know how to find the company's average salary. Now we want to find the departments whose salary is greater than this. So I'm adding a condition after group by, right? So what should I use? Having, right? Department number. So now what should I write in my having? So we want department with average salary higher than company's average salary. So we have departments and their average salary for each department. Now the additional condition is that having those departments that their average salary is higher than something. So if I write having average salary, so this is one of our columns, right? Because right now, what we have so far is this. So what you have is this. So you have several departments. So you have, for example, department number, I don't know, D10, D15, D20, right? D38, D42, and so on. And we also have average salary. So our query so far, the first query, select department number, average salary from staff, group by department number. If you stop by that, stop by group by department number, gives you this average salary for each of like these departments, right? Now, what are the averages? You can see here. So average salary for each department. So let me find it first.
It was the one you were looking.
So let's first see what are these numbers. It's this one, I guess. Yeah. So D15 is something, let's say. Okay. 16K. 18K. Now, so you have something like that. But the question asks you finding the department with average salary higher than company's average. So this part gives you this table, right? Now you also know how to find the company's average. Just select average salary from the staff. That's it, which gives you 18,000 something, right? So the average salary of the company is about 18,000. So if you want to find the departments with average salary greater than this, right? It should only give you like these departments, right? So after I aggregated, right? After aggregation, after using group by, I want to have another condition that only includes those departments with average salary higher than this average, right? So I'm using having, and how can I use that? So just write your query, whatever you wrote up to here. Okay, and then just write having average salary, right? Because your column is now average salary, right? Having average salary greater than what?
Select average salary from
Sometimes it's average salary, exactly. Select average salary. Average salary from staff. Yeah. Okay. So now this should only give me those that have average salary departments that have average salary more than company's average or more than 18,000. So let's run this. And let me also remove the rest. So I'm also removing. So now we only have average salary in each department, for each department less than 2 employees, and department with average salary. And I also remove this one. Now we only have these 3 queries. This one. If you see, there are the departments that their average salary is higher than 18,000, and 18,000 was the company's average salary, right? And if you want to get like a better, like more pretty table, you can just here give this a name, right? Like as average salary, right? Now you see the departments on average salary that meet this condition. So now, is it clear how to use group by and having, right? And these are just screenshots of the same queries in both Azure Data Studio and SSMS for those of you who are using those tools, okay? So this one, these are also, so this is, I already explained, right? I explained with, for example, a number of employees more than 2. Here the example is with more than 1. And this slide is a good example showing you the difference between having and where, right? For example, if you write select department number, count star from staff, group by department number, having count star greater than 1, right? Now you're using having. What does this do? It first aggregate the results because it used group by, right? So it first find the number of employees for each department, right? Then adding a condition that not all the departments, only those departments that have more than 1 employee, right? Then adding the condition. And that's when you use having. But here, you have, for example, select department number, count star from staff, their salary is greater than something, and then group by department number. What's the difference? Here, you first find the departments, right? And the number of employees, but only those employees whose salary is greater than 19,000, right? And after you found those employees with more than 19,000, you want to like group them by the department number. So that's the difference. So you filter the rows before aggregation, right? So whenever you want to filter rows before before aggregation, you use where. Whenever you want to use it after aggregation or on the result of your aggregation, then you use have.